Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Angel on Top, a podcast where we watch and discuss every episode of Angel, one by one, spoiler-free, and in tandem with no one. Everything has changed. We're all alone. But with a special guest today!
You're not totally alone! Okay.
I'm your co-host, LaToya Ferguson, a.k.a. the dead female lead of the Buffering Verse, a.k.a. one half of the Gunn Squad. He wears hoodies, she wears Fredskin, something, 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 Taylor Swift lyrics. A.k.a. the Gilbert to Morgan Sullivan, a.k.a. Daddy. Even if only a couple of other people can now remember that, but it otherwise makes no difference, at least not on screen. A.k.a. Captain Forehead. A.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come with 2 episodes left after this.
And I'm your co-host, Morgan Lutich, a.k.a. the other dead girl one of the Buffering Verse, a.k.a. the other half of the Gunn Squad. He was in this episode, right? A.k.a. the Sullivan to LaToya's Gilbert, a.k.a. Daddy. Daddy at last. And proud to be here. Hello to my fellow con heads. This one's for you. A.K. William Bloody, a.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come, if we can.
And this week, we're watching Angel Season 5, Episode 20, The Girl in Question. The Girl in Question was written by Stephen S. DeKnight and Drew Goddard. Oh boy. And directed by David Greenwalt. Dude, look what they did to your show. It aired on the WB on May 5th, 2004.
And this is the one where a mission, and more importantly, the news that Buffy is there, takes Angel and Spike to Italy to collect the decapitated head of the leader of a demonic crime family and return it to Los Angeles so it can be resurrected with the proper rituals. And would you believe goofiness ensues?
So, like we said, we have a special guest today.
Am I the girl in question?
Ooh,
Yes!
You're the titular girl in question.
Yes.
I've
I like
missed
this
you
episode
both
more already.
so much.
Introduce yourself in case people don't know just from your voice.
It's true. I haven't been here in so long.
It's been so long.
My name is Kristin. I usually have a corner. However, today I'm taking up the entire room. As I have been told, I am mostly here to get roasted the whole time, but I have shown up anyway, and I am excited.
Brave.
We, of course, kicked this all off by showing Kristin the Ariana DeBose Baptist rap, the most important thing in the entire world to us, because she had not watched it yet for some reason.
For some inexplicable reason. Now I know. I've been baptized into the rap
Baptized,
cult.
if you will.
Wow. Yeah, why didn't I get that
Thank you.
one? Great. Yep.
Also, if you've been wondering, where's this episode's been, blame Kristin.
Me? No, we have all. I think this is important to get out right at the top here, that this episode is somewhat cursed. Like, we've all had to move it. It has been several weeks in the making. Whatever you get, be thankful.
We actually all just needed to date the immortal for like a week just for the immersive experience of it. So now we've all done that. We're all here.
Mm-hmm. We can now all speak to the experience.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy.
we'll get into that.
So the girl in question, as I joked in the intro, dude, look what they did to your show. Because Greenwald's been gone. This was his first episode he's directed since the season 3 finale.
Wow.
Greenwald. So the episode's Greenwald directed because he co-created the show with Joss. Like, it was supposed to be like his show, basically.
Yeah.
So those episodes were season 1, She. Yes, the Biling classic.
Wow.
Don't worry, the rest of the episodes are good that he's directed. The season 1 finale, Chushanshu in LA.
Wow.
Yes.
Season 2, episode 5, Dear Boy, a Darla Bop.
Oh, a Darla Bop. Okay.
Yeah. Season 2, episode 22, the finale, No Place Like Plurtsglurb.
Fuck
Then
yeah.
the season 3 premiere, Heartthrob, and season 3 finale, tomorrow. And, you know, with your favorite scene ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with Morgan's favorite scene ever, going up and down.
You're going up and you're going down.
And that's
she is.
directing, baby. Yeah, this is his return to the show
hell
in
yeah.
general.
I mean, so does he, I don't know about the last 2 episodes, is he involved in the final 2 as well?
I don't believe he is. No, right?
I
This is
would
like his
imagine,
farewell
yeah.
to the series.
I
if I
wonder, like,
recall
and maybe you
correctly.
know some of this, but I just wonder, I feel like having talked to Charisma and having heard Charisma talk, like, it seems like her and David Greenwald are very tight.
Yes, I believe he wanted her specifically for this show.
Yeah.
He was like, that was like his most important thing. He's like, I need Charisma on the show.
And so I wonder if this is like a bittersweet kind of moment for him where like he wants to come in and direct one last episode before the series is over, but also everything that has happened to Charisma / Cordelia fucking has sucked. So I'm sure he's not pleased about that either.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was excited to film the flashbacks. And I would say these are the worst flashbacks we've ever gotten in the history of both of these series.
I can't wait to find out how these win the game, but great.
I'm excited as well. Oh wow, this episode made me tired in many ways, but I gotta say, I in watching it 3 times for this at different points in our attempts to record this, I went through a real journey. Like, I really hated it. I hated it so much it made me mad. And then yesterday I watched it and I was like, you know what? This is a little funny.
Yes.
Like, it's like I going in with like the lowest expectations possible and just being like, oh God, it's gonna be so bad. And turning it on, I was like, you know what? I'm giggling a little. So I added new positive notes in my angry notes. So this document is all over the place that I'm going to be working off of and referencing as we go through this. So that should be fun.
In terms of the humor stuff that works for me, of course, none of the bickering stuff works for me. And this was what I wrote, just from memory. Like, my favorite bit for, like, particularly the girl in question plot, obviously, not, and we'll talk about the Fred, Illyria West stuff. I remembered, and I still think, like, the Chow flashback is the best part of the episode of like that. It's like, it looks the best. I'm like, this is what those, like, concept episodic episodes of this season should have been like. This looks interesting, and like, in a way nothing else does. Like, I found myself like, I never want to see the Wolfram and Hart set ever again, because this is how poor the show is. Like, the bit about them going to Italy and being exactly the same, I think I used to find it funny, but now I'm just like, they had no money. I never want to see the set again.
I don't see blonde wood again. Sorry,
blonde wood? What did you say?
Like, blonde wood. Like, if I don't see that
wood.
like warm toned wood again, like I see it again in my life, it'll be too fucking soon. I'm sick of that color.
I was so immersed in the Buffyverse that I heard blonde and thought of Spike, and then Wood and thought of Wood, and was like, what? Did I miss something in this episode?
Imagine
Robin
if
Wood
had
catches
been
strays
blonde.
again in this episode, basically, anyway.
I just want to establish that the reason that I'm going to be roasted this whole time is not because of my lack of Kristin's corners, which I deserve to be roasted for also, but because I texted Morgan and LaToya and was like, oh my God, this episode is so fun. I had so much fun with this episode, and they were both like, record scratch, what? Like,
This is like after our first time viewing, too.
I had such a fucking good time watching this episode, and I like, because I hit the wall of you both being like, what the crap? I like have thought about it so much, and I have two things to say up the top. One, I miss the Buffyverse so much. Okay, I'm having a blast talking about the X-Files, but it is a very different thing at a very different time. And so this kind of episode was like a very particular re-entry into the Buffyverse for me. You know, it's like it has really fun Italian demons, and like I do enjoy the like emasculating bickering between the two fucking broody idiot leads. You know, like that is very fun for me. And so I think like that was why I just like hit the ground running with the general thing. I had fun.
Understandable. And also like, really, my issues, they kind of, again, they speak to the larger problem with the season, which I feel like, I keep coming back to it, like, we're focusing on the wrong things when they're, like, at the wrong time, when there are major issues and implications we should be focusing on instead, or we're only focusing on them off screen. Again, there are 2 episodes left after this one. They already knew they were canceled. So this episode was like intentionally made despite knowing they needed to pivot accordingly. Yeah. I think like the odd couple grumpy old men shit for Angel and Spike, sure, it makes sense earlier in the season. The way I see it, you do this immortal Buffy plot or like right after Spike becomes corporeal, instead of having the whole I'm not going to tell her for reasons and just like get it out of the way there. Yeah. And also then the Andrew stuff, Andrew's character makes more sense having not just been an insufferable piece of shit and damage.
Totally. Totally.
Because at least then that damage would come after this, as opposed to this coming after damage, which is ridiculous to me. Also, I still hate Andrew.
Yeah, I'm nodding so hard. I just want it on the record. I'm like I'm nodding very, very hard.
Why are we doing this when we're like, we just introduced like Angel playing ball with Wolfram Hart, and like that's like a tiny bit of Gunn's like anger, but like it's over like in this. And I know it's going to continue the next episode, but like this episode could have given more to that. Like, why is there no focus on the fucking apocalypse?
Yes, the pacing is nuts. I could not stop thinking about that joke that I think is from the Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 1 finale, where they do one of their many like slow motion to a music cue thing, and then Captain Holt says, "Jake, the overwhelming time pressure," and it cuts to like no longer slow motion. He's kind of just like flailing around, dancing like an idiot. That's what this whole episode felt like to me. I kept being like, the overwhelming time pressure, wrap up a full universe worth of stories now, please. And they're like, ooh, what if it was goofy? You know how when you go to Italy, it's silly? And I'm like, no, I'm not rich. I've never been to Italy.
You know, I think like, I know you guys have been like tiptoeing is probably the wrong phrase, but like that you have your issues with some of this season, and that like you want to make sure that the listenership knows that you fucking like this show. And I feel like this is like case in point of what it's like. Like I come into I like the show Angel. I'm having a blast. I come in, I'm like, wee, fun. But like you're here and you're like, this is the story we care about. These are the characters we care about. And that's the reason you have issue with this episode and with a lot of the rest, which I think is lost sometimes on people who listen to critiques.
I'm literally not even saying don't do this episode. I'm just saying do this plot earlier.
Yeah.
Fully
do
agree.
it. Just do it at a different time.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. And what are we saying? Like that I guess that is one of my bigger questions is like the show is winding down and we're saying these two men are both still really petty and obsessed with some 20-year-old and can't stop getting in their own way.
Some
I know, and obviously that's reductive about Buffy, who I love and would do anything for. But like I'm kind of like, okay, like, wasn't this show about like atonement? Like, I'm just confused about why we're here often. But there's still stuff that I like about it. And I tried to find moments in the show to be like, oh, this is what I'm actually, rather than just complaining about what I'm seeing and how I don't like it. I tried to find moments to highlight what I'm actively missing about the show of the past. And I'm excited to talk about those things with you guys because I love Angel.
And yeah, piggybacking off that, and Kristin, you created the perfect opening for me to discuss this. So, trying to ignore the negativity because it's not productive. But, like, I feel like I'm addressing it because I want people to be perfectly clear what I'm attempting to do with this podcast and why to just blanket it as hate is a problem. So there was a comment basically saying, I understand the season 4 hate, but I was genuinely surprised that the hosts hate season 5 just as much. I figured since the hosts can watch and enjoy the Vampire Diaries, they'd be able to find some redeeming qualities in the final season of Angel. But alas,
okay, damn, Rita's fair.
If an hour of heavy criticism is what you're looking for, then you've come to the right podcast. To which, okay, so non-constructive, grow the fuck up. I didn't realize this was a podcast for babies. Constructive, though. So I see people say, like, how can you how would you react if, like, people were saying this stuff about your favorite show? Again, first, this is my favorite show. Full stop. The end. Yeah. Like, but also, why would it matter if someone said criticized my favorite show? Because criticism is, first of all, not a value judgment on the person who likes the thing. Second of all, actual criticism is dying. That New York Times TikTok film article has made me so upset. But there's no actual digestion and analysis. It's just I like this thing and entertain me. Cool, but this is storytelling. This is a storytelling medium. So if I'm finding problems with the story that they are telling, and even if I don't I don't like Connor fucking Cordy.
Yeah. But
I could see the story they were telling and how it worked and how it didn't work. Again, that's why I talk pretty highly about season 4 in general. I see fundamental flaws in the story they're telling in season 5. For the fact, the Nina bit in this, it's first of all, you wouldn't know he's still dating Nina ever unless this episode. Yeah. I felt so bad for that boring blonde woman every time she was mentioned this episode.
It was rough. That was very rough.
It's just leave her alone. Nina. Leave her out of this. Leave her off screen because that's where you want to put everything.
Leave her and her blonde niece out of this.
And what I do hate is the blanket use of, oh, you're a hater. It's not a problem to criticize things, especially things you love. I'm currently watching for the first time a David E. Kelley show from 1992, Picket Fences, which I think fucking rules. It's very David E. Kelley. So it's from 1992. It is like the X-Files. A lot of the things talking about issues don't hold up. They actually have a pretty progressive transgender episode, but the language they're using not so much. But the message is very good, and it's this rules. But if I can criticize why it doesn't work and still enjoy the show.
Yeah. Who is I can't think of the name of your friend who is show ran for Lucifer.
Joe Henderson,
Yeah, the conversation that you had with him about this was so amazing. If you listen to this podcast and you missed that one, go back and listen to that because it was very, very powerful to listen to you all talk together. And him as somebody at the sort of at the lead of a show being this is the point, I want to have these conversations. And LaToya, you were reviewing that show and that's anyway, go back and listen to it, listeners, if you didn't listen to that one.
It's for our Smile Time episode, which we did love. We love Smile Time.
We did. A very positive ep. And it's also, I think, an important, I also really liked the episode that we did with Joe. I loved Smile Time, and I think it was cool to do and important to talk a little bit about context, which is something that I think LaToya is so good about providing with her knowledge of the WB, and that I try to help with occasionally by bringing up the Matrix sequels and other important things, which I will be doing in this episode. Get ready.
Yes.
And I also think that Joe provided not only like a lot of context and stuff for these episodes, but also context for the time that we are recording this podcast, which, you know, like this podcast is going to live on for a while and be preserved in amber, like as our opinions grow and change. But I think it's really important to say that we've been recording this like at the time that we're recording this, like during the strikes, during a time where it does feel like media and media criticism is just fucking crumbling. And it's so frustrating. So to talk about a story that I think, not to put words in LaToya's mouth, but I think both of us feel like is kind of falling apart and like decaying in pieces and serving maybe masters it shouldn't be. That's something that I'm seeing all the time today. Like a lot of the issues in this that are rubbing me the wrong way and making me pissed off are stuff that I feel like are so pervasive right now. So I think it was really nice that we were able to have Joe on to talk about the strike and like our present moment and kind of some of the overlap that our frustrations with this are having with our current media landscape. And I think that's important context to talk about, as well as the context about like talking about what TV looked like at this time. Like you watching picket fences and saying like, wow, progressive for the moment. Like there's so many times that we've been watching things that you're like, okay, like how does this compare to how storytelling was at the moment? And like when someone criticized us for not enjoying homoeroticism, which makes me laugh because like I love gay shit. Like, note not taken, friend. But like the idea that you and I don't like that, when what I just don't like and what I'm so sick of is like gay panic and like the like two dudes being like, any kind of affection between us is disgusting. Like, and it just has never been a kind of joke the show ever had before, and now it feels like it's 40% of the show, and that's exhausting. So I think it's worth commenting on, like things like that. Like context is important, and I'm excited to kind of ground this in that.
Yeah. Oof.
Those are all my points.
And also, just one thing, like there are so many rewatch podcasts now, and so many of them, especially the ones that are created by, you know, former cast members, are just fluff. Yeah. I never want to just provide fluff. Even when I love an episode overwhelmingly, I'm not going to say, and you know, it's just cool and I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, nothing wrong with thinking something's cool and liking it, but I don't know if that is worth 90 minutes of content. We'll see what we do. When we watch the OC Kristin, that's what we'll do. It's just cool and I like it.
It's cool and I like it.
But listening to you all talk, and even just like being immersed in a rewatch place with television, for as long as I have, like I've learned so much, because I really I just was kind of like, I came into the world as someone that was just like, I love it, cool, you know, like that was my like baseline, but being able to really think about things contextually, and thinking about like, LaToya, you haven't even heard the next episode of The X-Files yet, but I was like, I feel like this season of The X-Files could have been like this many episodes shorter. I don't even just thinking about the length, how many episodes could be in a season, and how we can tell this story but combine it with another episode to make a bigger punch. Like that came from listening to, you know, really specifically LaToya, how you critique television. And I think it's very good and important. So, and also if you're here and you just want somebody to love the episode, that's me. I loved it. So
yeah.
I'm here.
Should we dive in, gang?
Let's see. Just some more context, obviously. So this episode being promoted, ooh, look at that blonde girl dancing in the club. Ooh. So Buffy is not in this episode. They don't ever say Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this episode. Like, they don't do that in promotion. I noticed that this and the Smallville episode that was its lead-in both had 4.7 million viewers. I believe 100% that it retained the viewers from Smallville, because people were like, if Buffy's in this episode, I want to see. That is the only reason, because they never retain the viewers, basically. Yeah. Like, they still had good numbers, but they weren't retaining viewers like that.
Right.
And let's see. So, obviously we'll talk about Andrew's presence in this episode. This was so originally it was not that Sarah Michelle Gellar they were trying to get her in this episode. I think they wanted her for the next episode, but that didn't happen. And of course, as I've said before, or if I haven't, I will say it now, I do not begrudge Sarah Michelle Gellar not coming back to this world after what we know about Joss Whedon. And every time they said there were scheduling conflicts, I think we all know what the real reason was, because instead of Andrew, this was supposed to be Dawn, Michelle Trachtenberg, but she was then unavailable to film. And I'm like, oh, Michelle Trachtenberg, the girl who wasn't, they said that Joss wasn't allowed to be in a room alone with her. Yeah, I'm fine with her having scheduling conflicts then.
Yeah, go be free.
100%.
Yeah. Because I've seen some people being like, oh, it sucks, like, Sarah, like, was, like, ungrateful, basically, and she wouldn't come back. Like, no, like, don't be grateful. There's a lot, like, the people she's worked with, I'm sure she could be grateful for, but like, fuck Joss Whedon.
And also the oversimplification of that. My God, like, even without the, like, elephant of Joss in the room, like, someone, like, you never know the complexities that someone has to the work that, like, the complexities of the relationship that someone has to the work that they do. And, like, a thing can be the most powerful thing that you've ever done in your life, and also the most painful thing that you've ever done in your life in many ways. So, like, just please stop existing out there simplifying shit to, like, oh, she was too good for it. Oh, she's too famous. Or, like,
people are like, oh, she's focusing on her movie career. That's why she won't do it. It's like, why should she have to come deal with this again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why should she have to, like, probably work below her quote to be, like, on this show for 2 days with someone who's been probably fairly cruel to her? Like, yeah, it just silly.
And again,
as cruel to, like, fucking, like, more than cruel to Charisma, who she has a fucking relationship with too.
Yeah.
Which also, again, like we said in You're Welcome, but, like, the closure was never between Angel and Buffy on the show Angel. It was always Angel and Cordy. The Angel and Buffy had their closure on Buffy.
Oh my God.
With the cookie dough scene that I hate, which is brought up here and I hate here as well, Morgan.
Morgan is dancing. Morgan is dancing to the internal do-do-do soundtrack that plays in her brain. We were writing... Oh, wait, Morgan, did you say a thing? I did not hear what you said.
No, I was
She's
like, we'll
seething.
talk about it when we get there, but I'm, like, seething.
No, I was just going to say I was just rereading some of the summaries for the end of season 7 of Buffy for the book that we're writing, and remembered all over again that Angel and Buffy kiss in the penultimate episode, and I had to, like, take a break from writing the book. I got so mad all over again. Morgan
is dancing now.
Yeah. I did do a little dance for that one.
All right. Oh, God.
Okay, let's get to the actual episode now. Now it's time.
Hell yes. Okay, we open Where Else? The Wolfram Hart lobby. It is beige all around. And Gunn tells Angel, we gotta act on something. Okay. And Angel is reticent about it.
So Gunn now just wears hoodies to work now. And I think I always remember it differently, that, like, Gunn actually did lose his lawyer brain, and then, like, this is just him being back to normal. But, like, no, he still has his lawyer brain. He just decided he's gonna be hoodie man now. Hoodie man at work now.
Yeah.
This is his rebellion. So Gunn is clearly unhappy with Angel. I write in my notes, presumably because he's still doing his heel turn, but I guess that's not for us to know.
Yes.
And then Angel caves and is like, fine, whatever you want done, Spike can do it. Cut to Angel's office. Spike is playing a Game Boy. I wonder in my notes, is Gunn jealous? And
the good old days.
God, I miss it. I miss it so fucking much. And Spike is like, no, I'm not doing it. And Gunn is like, but this is really important. And he finally talks about the, thing.
And I'm like, this would have been a great James Bond mission for Gunn. Maybe get Gwen involved.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. The two of them in Italy. Hot.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds so sexy. What awesome sunglasses would they have put on J. August Richards? God, they would have been so hot. But Gunn is like, this mission is important. What needs to happen is that the head of the Capo de Familia, of the Goran demon clan, this guy, he died on a business trip to Italy, and he was more of a businessman than a monster, destroying humanity. And now what has to happen is that his body needs to be picked up in the next 26 hours so his family can do a ritual on him, which will resurrect him. If he is not resurrected, there will be a huge power vacuum which could endanger all human life. Stakes are set.
I can't believe there wasn't a decapitation. I can't believe there wasn't a decapitation capo wordplay in here for us. It
feels like a missed opportunity.
That was a miss.
Angel is like, yeah, we'll send Spike. It's fine. And then Angel gets a phone call. His voice gets all soft. And he's all worried. And what is it? He hangs up. It's Buffy.
Honestly,
titles.
Angel, don't tell him. Just go.
Yeah, just go, bitch.
And he could probably figure it out because you're not telling him, but just go.
Honestly.
Yeah, if you really don't want him around, you could have just gone. In watching the titles, this is one of the moments where I was like, fuck, I miss Angel. Remember when the show was a Los Angeles noir? I just maybe it's because my boyfriend is a big LA crime movie person, but there's such a specificity to LA After Dark that's just seedy and grody. It just is fucking awesome. Angel walking around here and having problems here.
Remember when we would point out
this,
LA geography on the show?
Yes, I miss it. And I was thinking, the same time they were shooting this, they were probably shooting Collateral. Michael Mann's Collateral, which is an all-time LA After Dark movie. And it's so cool. And it's on location all the time. And instead, everything is brightly and warmly lit with inside the beige Wolfram and Hart offices all the time. I close my eyes and see beige. Please.
Literally, it's the beige office, and then it's the fucking backlot. I'm like, are we on the Paramount backlot from Big Fat Liar? Well, that's Italy.
Yes.
I'm like, they have no money, which shows are low budget. It happens, but for a show that was always so high budget, it sticks out.
Yes, you don't have to go to Italy in the plot of your show if you don't have money. But also, I wish we could have seen blue Paul Giamatti in the background of one of the shots here.
Him and Illyria facing off.
Yes, finally, a worthy opponent for her.
Kristen, are you a fan of Big Fat Liar?
No. I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't. Yeah.
You never saw?
I never saw it. Yeah.
You never saw Biffle?
No.
Biffle? It's a real classic. Highly recommend. If there are children in your life,
Okay.
it's yes, hell yes, though.
Please.
Yes, let's do it. Our next scene's in the lobby. Angel storms out of the double doors, intent on saving Buffy. Apparently, she's up against someone called the Immortal. Spike says this immortal guy is, quote, the foulest evil hell ever vomited forth, end quote.
Harmony. Thumbs up with the fucking comeback. Worse than you?
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
What do we think of this immortal plot?
What part of the immortal plot? The immortal fucks
Everything
everybody
about the immortal. I hate it.
I kind of do too. I want it to be funnier.
I barely liked the bit in Why We Fight with the Prince of Lies. This is basically that, but the character's off screen. Except for the one time he's dancing and he looks like a Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think back, and you both have a more encyclopedic knowledge of the episodes we've seen with Angel and Spike together. But I really enjoyed the comedy of them sitting with the fact that they both were in love with this person named Buffy for an episode. And I know that we've gotten digs and zings and stuff like that, but I did like the setup of that, this guy who's been fucking with them since the dawn of time is fucking with them again, and that we get to see them sit with their ridiculous feelings for Buffy, you know, like that, like they are both ridiculous, and it takes this ridiculous man to like illuminate that they need to fucking move on. So I like that.
Yeah. I don't disagree that is like something that needed resolution, and it is something like a huge thing that they share, and a very like kind of unsaid other than quips thing between them that maybe needed to be sealed off. But I do feel like what LaToya said was right on the money. It had to be earlier when they were having all their petty disagreements. Like right now I'm like, what about everything else, gang? But the joke of the immortal itself, like I'm not against, but I do kind of hate that we don't see him. Like I think it's funnier if you like he's super sexy and hot and there's some like incredibly charming dude here. Like where's Timothy Oliphant as the immortal, you know? Like give me something good, like have him show up once, or have him have a henchman they're always dealing with. It being this faceless thing just it results in the two of them just kind of like squabbling impotently, doing the same joke over and over again. Like there's no comedic rise and fall to what's going on with them. I wanted more. It's so one note for me.
I like the brief bits, like vague bits, where it's like they've both been trying to chase being like the immortal, and that's like colored who they are as like vampires with souls and everything. But like that's not really the whole focus. Yeah. And also, what was I gonna say? Should we talk about the elephant in the room of the immortal, which is the Buffy comic?
Oh,
can you? Yeah.
Familiar.
So is that like it's not a spoiler because we've talked about it already.
You guys have already talked about it.
Buffering verse, technically. So it's this episode happens before the comic arc or after the comic?
Yeah.
Okay. Before the comic arc. Okay.
Because the comic, so based on the comic, the Buffy comic, the immortal is not dating Buffy. This is just isn't it like just one of the other Slayers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a devil.
The real Buffy is like in Scotland, I think. And then they're at the start of the comics, there's like two other sort of decoy Buffys. And one is in Rome. So, yeah. And
this immortal thing is basically just Andrew did a prank on Angel and Spike. I hate Andrew.
Yeah.
I hate Andrew.
Yeah.
Does Andrew not know about the apocalypse? Like, Andrew, there's a whole ass apocalypse going on. Like, aren't you a good guy now? Like, they should be doing their jobs.
Let me do a prank on them after I just insulted them for being on the wrong team. Like, they should murder you.
I do think they should murder Andrew.
And it wouldn't be gay bashing because of the end of this episode.
Where you get
I rewrote the end
tonight.
of the episode. I rewrote the end of the episode is like, this is my best friend was a gay man when I was in high school. These are Andrew's girlfriends. They're all going out to the gay club together.
You're so kind because I'm like, again, even at the time, and this is something I've always been firm in, like I didn't like the haha he's gay, haha he's not gay jokes of the series, and like this is just all of that in one arc.
Yeah, it's rough, but so they say, we say Buffy's in Italy, the immortal must have killed the capo, and Gunn's like, wow, damn, this guy's good. Spike now really, really wants to come to Italy, and the boys have a little fight while they're trying to get in the elevator together at the same time. I do enjoy them both trying to enter rooms at the same time when they both get stuck in the doorway together later. That did make me laugh. Yes. And they're like, we'll go to Italy to save Buffy. And Spike's like, you can't do it without me, so I'm going. There we go.
Spike hasn't even told Buffy he's alive for reasons, and now he's diving headfirst into this. It's almost like this should have been sooner.
What was the plan if she had turned around at the club? Like, what was going to happen?
Well, they learned it's not Buffy.
Yeah.
The end.
Wow.
Gosh.
But also, the other thing with the immortal, I just have a question. Oh, not even a question, but so we don't learn what the immortal is. He's not, they don't say he's a vampire, and considering you have to be like invited to his places, is he just an immortal human, or what is his deal? Is he a demon?
Very unclear.
Yeah, he's a sex demon,
but
you know?
He just looks like a Frankenstein from behind.
I guess, yeah. So we then are on the jet, And Angel's like, you know, Spike, you're just here to like save Buffy and get her back. And Spike's like, do you have different plans, dude? Angel is like, well, I'm seeing someone. Spike calls Nina dog girl. Like, the disrespect towards blonde Nina.
To our favorite character, Nina last name.
Absolutely. Angel's like, we're just hanging out and she's not my girlfriend. And I wrote in my notes, damn. Like,
what is Nina's last name? They had to have given her a last name, right?
It's last
Nina
name.
Werewolf last name, you know?
Let's do some guesses, shall we? I'm guessing
Nina
Thomas.
Blonde.
Nina Blonde.
Nina Art
Yeah,
School.
I would go like Nina Jones or something.
Okay, is there a last name for Nina? Ash. Her last name is Ash.
Nina Ash. Okay.
Well, there we go.
So you're telling me that her sister is Jill Ash and her blonde niece is Amanda Ash?
I love
Amanda Ash.
the whole family's names.
Oh, God. When will we pick back up with the Ash family? I hope it's next episode.
I have a question about the plane ride because I felt like the audio choices here for this scene were weird. Like, not that I anticipate like very loud plane noises, but it was the most silent. Like, there was not a fucking noise. Like we were on a plane at all.
Hum.
Yeah,
It's like
weird.
when they cut to them drinking, I'm like, is the plane still moving?
Yeah, just sitting on the tarmac. Like, what's happening?
Like
No,
when
this is
Serena
like when
had to
Serena
read.
Vanderwoodson needed to read.
See, Kristen, it's a very specific reference because I reference it all the time because I'm like, it wasn't that long, but she needed to stop everything and read on the tarmac.
It's like, everyone stop. Unreal. Angel is like, you know, this isn't about us. We have to work together to stop the Immortal and to save Buffy and to pick up the demon body. So let's put aside our differences and, you know, be partners like old times. And he says, and, you know, pick up that demon body thingy. Now, one moment. I'm just kind of obsessed with Angel saying demon body thingy, even though that's the most aggressively un-Angel thing I've ever heard. Like, that's the weird thing about this season. All the actors are so great. Like, Boreanaz can be charming as this guy that isn't Angel, that is this, like, petty, angry dude that I don't know. But when I allow myself to enjoy it, it kind of breaks my brain because it's like the cognitive dissonance of, like, that's not my guy. It's something that can be funny and that I can take joy in, but it's not the show. Like, that feeling I'm struggling with all the time this season, and I just don't know how to address it or, like, reconcile it.
You know I love Petty Angel, but, like, they're finding a way to ruin that for me. And it's, because I even addressed it in Time Bomb. I'm like, at a certain point, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm watching Angel. I feel like I'm just watching, like, Boreanaz say lines.
Absolutely. And that felt very much here. So the boys then, we do the cut to the mini bottle scene. Angel's like, you're right. You really can't get drunk off these things. Call back to Hole in the World. And Angel's
the craziest time to reference that.
Yes. Angel says he knows that he can't get drunk off these things because he drank a lot of them and he still doesn't like Spike. Good bit. Spike is like, how did you know Buffy was in trouble? And Angel admits he had someone spying on her.
This is the part that I hate the most about the episode. I will get on your train for, because fuck this. Honestly,
What?
Fuck it.
Here's the thing. In general, with all this pettiness, why are we acting like there's not like hundreds or thousands of slayers just all around that can protect Buffy at all times? You think she's dating this Immortal and like Willow and Giles aren't doing shit about this if it's a problem?
Yeah, I'm not worried.
No, well, and that's the thing is, like, he's, like, it's very clear to, I'm sure, even Angel that he has eyes on Buffy just because he wants to fucking know what she's doing, which is, again, like, we want Angel of 2004 to have grown far past a place where this would be the vibe. I don't believe that Angel of season 3 and 4 had somebody watching fucking Buffy. You know what I mean? Like, that feels
Well,
like
he didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now he has the money. I mean, now. Well, counterpoint. He says, I'm not proud of it, but it's Buffy. And I write in my notes, I can't believe this whole episode is about how much these boys like Buffy, and I don't like it. But very, very cute line delivery from Boreanaz here. Love a bashful Angel. Love the way that he has decided throughout this both these series to mumble Buffy's name like it doesn't even deserve to cross his lips. Like, gone for her. Absolutely. Love it. But yeah, it is infantilizing and weird. But I'm not like hugely against it, but also it's like, isn't that a waste of money? But it's a waste of evil people's money, so who cares?
Yeah.
Angel's like, my guy got seen and he's hospitalized now, so no one has eyes on Buffy.
So funny.
And Spike's like, you should have had more dudes on her.
Just fucking ninjas
idiot.
staking out Buffy at all times.
If only. So Angel's like, remember the last time we were in Italy? And Spike's like, oh yeah, like it was yesterday. And then we get that 50s black and white Italy cut of Spike and Drusilla just saying ciao back and forth with a bunch of trendy Italian people. They both look so hot.
Yes, it's the single best and best looking moment of this entire episode.
It looked so good. And I was like, give me this. Like, I want the Immortal in these scenes. Like, I want 50s Spike having to deal with the Immortal. Like, this aesthetic was just, like, fascinating to me, as opposed to kind of the exact same two wigs we've seen Spike and Angel in, kind of doing the same thing they're always doing.
The William wig was really, like, pissing me off this time. I'm tired of seeing that damn mushroom head.
You know that
Absolutely.
the William wig has to do something real bad to be the point of focus over the fucking Liam wig. Angel wig, whatever.
We're used to it.
Oh my god.
It's just part of life.
That's just what Liam looks like. He just has weird plastic hair.
Oh god.
Fucking Lego head.
I didn't
So
know
fucking
when
weird.
I had only seen this episode once before watching it this year, and I knew the girl in question was Buffy, but I did not remember that Drew and Darla were in it, and so I like gasped when I saw Drew, and then when Darla was around, I was like, oh my fucking god, what is this, a smorgasbord for me?
We're saying goodbye to our ladies.
Yeah.
By the way, both looking gorge. We cut back to the jet, and Angel's like, what? I wasn't there for that flashback?
Yeah,
Like, what?
He was sulking in LA at that time.
Yeah, he's like, I was talking about 1894, the Room of Pain. Cut to 1894, the boys are strung up, they're in their bad
Let's see.
wigs.
And my notes from this scene originally, after watching this, 5 million times this episode, these men are in this is all caps. Boo, these men are in boxers, which weren't invented until 1925. I looked it up. They weren't popular until the 1930s. The fucking cowards.
Wait,
Yes,
boxers were invented in what did you say?
25.
Damn.
Yeah,
So everybody
I
just
looked
wore
it up, I'm
like-
whiteies until then?
I guess so.
Or bloomers?
Which is like nothing.
Burlap.
Like breech.
Yeah, or nothing.
burlap underwear. Yeah. I was just like,
Huge barrels.
seeing those huge ass boxers, I was like, this can't be right. I don't think this is how things were.
I did not do any research. I just screamed in my notes, oh my God, Angelus in shorts. Because I feel like I had never seen the calves of Angelus before.
Yeah, he's in Bermuda shorts.
Yeah.
It just seemed wrong. And I'm like, why is this wrong? And then I found out.
You were right to do the research, and thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Angel comes to, wakes Spike up. They're like, fucking Immortal, put us here. He's gonna regret ever messing with us. I write in my notes that this is the last time David had to do the Irish accent. Do you think he's excited?
Has he ever spoken on record about the Irish accent? Has he ever talked about it?
Yeah, he might have.
Not that I know of.
He's probably cracked jokes about it.
I hope so.
Probably. Very funny shit. I love my favorite part of this dynamic that the Immortal creates is right here, which is when it forces the boys to hype each other up. Spike's like, he'll rue the day he crossed Angelus, and Angelus is like, and William the Bloody Man, like, he shouldn't fuck with us. Like, the two of them both being like, you're so bad. No, man, you're so bad. Like, that I love. That had me giggling.
I found Boreanaz saying something about the wig and the accent.
Oh, please give it.
And also, it also even says like this was David Greenwald's show. He says basically too, confirming that. I remember we were working on an episode of Buffy. I was wearing a terrible wig and speaking in an even worse Irish accent. Joss called me and said, "I'd like to talk to you tomorrow." I asked, "Am I getting fired?" "No, it's a good thing." I said, "I still think I'm going to get fired." Went into his office the next morning and he said, "We're thinking of doing a spin-off series. David Greenwald is going to run with it. I'm going to assist with it." So basically it was Greenwald's show, as I've been saying this whole time. Mm-hmm. It was, see, Daddy came back. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Daddy, look what
God,
you rock.
No, take it
Fast
back.
forward.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I left the office, called my dad and said, "They offered me my own spin-off series. This is amazing." But I was still concerned about the bad accent I was doing. But that's kind of how I operate. I don't think too much about what's going to be coming, just the here and now.
Oh, that's brilliant. God,
It's really cute.
God bless you, David. Jesus Christ.
I love that he knows it was bad. He's like, "They haven't fired me yet, so I guess it's fine."
And like then you just got to keep at it. I mean, you've chosen your accent. That's your accent now. That's how Liam spoke.
He really thought, he's like, this is bad. I'm gonna get fired.
You guys know this is bad, right? Oh, God.
That's awesome.
Congrats, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So the Immortals lackeys bust in, and one of them slaps Angel around a little, and they say, the Immortals actually going to just give you guys a reprimand, leave the city and never return. And they're like, "This is our city." And they're like, "No, it's the Immortals' city. He's been here like 300 years longer than either of you have been alive." And Angelus kills the dude and scares the other lackeys, and they run away, and the boys start getting dressed. Angelus has his little Kendra moment because he's very mad about what's happened to his shirt.
I literally thought he was going to say, this was me only shirt after
Me only shirt.
Yeah.
His Kendra moment, the accent.
Yeah, it's like, "Look what they've done to me shirt." And I was like, "It's me only shirt."
It's literally the
very
first
happy.
half of Kendra's line about her shirt. I wrote the same note. Yep.
I did say earlier, I think these are the single worst looking Angel flashbacks. And again, with the 50s Italy one in comparison, I'm like, what have we done? But I also feel like the Salvatore brothers should be in all of these flashbacks.
Absolutely. Like, Stefan and Damon are around. Stefan and Damon are partying with the Immortal. They're like fucking getting absolutely.
I was gonna say,
Lex is fucking the Immortal.
No,
for
Damon
sure.
is the Immortal, and Stefan's like, "What are we doing? Just go with it." And so he's making Stefan and Lexi like go with this "I'm the Immortal" thing.
Actually,
Oh
yes.
my God.
Yes.
Wow. Universes finally perfectly braided together.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It really does. It makes me so happy.
Wow.
Oh my God, talking about how Damon Salvatore is actually very spiritual. Hilarious to me.
He was wearing hats then too, you know it.
Oh, we should have been able to see the back of his head, and it was always in a hat. Like, it was always in like a ridiculous hat.
Oh my fucking God.
I will talk about this for 4 hours if I don't move forward.
The Immortal's good now.
The Immortal's good now. I have no notes.
And so tall.
And so sexily and tall. The boys are like, "We're gonna go get him." They go back to their home base, and Darla's in her bed, out cold, and Angel's like, "What have they done to her?" Cut to present day, Wolfman Hart lobby. Illyria is looking at all the plants, and she says, "I can no longer hear the song of the green."
They're so cheap they won't let her talk to plants on this goddamn show.
But I love that Lorne is standing like 5 feet behind her and says, "Do you think that includes me?" That on the third viewing, that joke really hits.
Yep.
Do you also have a sea breeze in hand like Lorne does in this scene?
I should have. I yelped out loud yesterday when I watched that. It got me.
Oh my God.
Lorne and
Giving
Wes are-
Illyria the advice to just have a cocktail and get over it is
Which he had already in hand.
Yeah, ready for
Because he's
Here you go,
he's not
baby.
well. Well, you know what I loved about the scene? The fact that Alexis's hair was fixed, which only highlights even more how much it was at DEF CON 1 in Time Bomb.
David Greenwald was like, "This won't do."
The amount of gel, it's still... He cut it so short.
Silly boy. Silly boy. So Lauren and Wes are watching and they're like, okay, so she can't talk to plants, she can't do time fuckery, but she's still very strong. So we do still have to be scared of her. Illyria accuses them of reveling in her defeat. And she says that currently, like having reduced powers is a fate worse than death. Wes is like, how about we do some tests in the lab, which might give you some more answers. And she leaves to go do that, being fully like, it was my idea to do this, as she storms off. Love it. I love her. Wes admits to Lauren she's still unpredictable. We have to be careful. And then Fred's parents show up.
I guess.
Wesley,
Gas.
you were supposed to tell them.
How did we not tell her parents?
Because it's about his pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him to task, honestly.
Because none of these people are doing the right thing ever anymore. Like, it just, is shocking. Wes sees them. He's horrified. Like, obviously, this is, like, a terrifyingly, mind-breakingly horrible situation. Like, so much grief, so much like shame. Oh my God. The Burkles are here because they are on a layover on a flight to Hawaii, and they are here to surprise Fred. Wes invites them into his office because he's like, okay, I guess I have to like get them alone to fucking tell them this. And then Illyria is watching all of this from the balcony. And we have, now this is a clear setup with the promise for tragedy. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
I love the idea of this storyline. I find that it is hopelessly incomplete. But let's talk about it as we go forward. We then go back to Italy. The boys knock on the door to some apartment, and Andrew answers. He says that this is Buffy and Dawn's place. He's crashing here because his place was incinerated due to an incident. Jokes.
I set his place on fire.
Yeah.
LaToya did it. Yeah, LaToya,
I
where were you when that
confess.
fire was set?
Setting it.
This is where the boys try to walk in the door at the same time and they get stuck. It's very cute and funny. Andrew is like, let's hang. And they're like, no, we want to see Buffy. We don't like you. He explains that she's off to meet the immortal. They just missed her, and they're like, oh, no, we better go help her. And Andrew's like, yeah, most nights they just spend all their time snuggling on the couch. Because they're together. Spike's horrified by this. He can't believe it. We cut back to the 1894 hideout where we learn that this is not a new phenomenon for the boys. Angel wakes Darla up, gives her a smooch, tastes the immortal on her lips, aka Damon Salvatore.
Whiskey.
I love that Angel calls her my sweet death. That's his pet name for her. And I'm like,
Hot. That's hot. Yeah, that's hot.
You're like, Michael, why don't you ever call me that?
yeah, no one's ever calling me my sweet death. What the hell? I guess I'm not goth enough. I should be cooler and gothic.
Morgan be goth. I would
Please,
pay to see Morgan be goth.
Please.
I'll be more goth for you guys, for both of you guys, for me, for us all.
Great. Break out that black
Spike-
lipstick.
Hell yes.
Ooh.
Spike is aghast. Darla, however, seems like she had a pretty good time. There's nothing to be worried about here. She said with the eyes and the chest and the immortality.
Oh my God. The "Oh, darling, it was just fornication" might be one of my favorite Darla lines ever. So,
She's
yeah.
so fucking good.
Oh.
This is where she says that he's actually quite spiritual. And she gets out of her little improvised sheet dress into like this like lush dressing gown. It just all looked so good.
Yeah. Spike calls Angel a cuck.
One brain cell. I yelled. I loved it. And Drusilla comes in asking if it's time for, quote, another pony ride, end quote.
God bless
Kristin is
Drusilla.
covering her
I
face.
can't. Can we play Drusilla's jingle? If we
Of
had
course.
Darla jingle, we'd play it too. But okay, great.
Drusilla, you fill my heart with dread, and still I'm led right back to you.
Why don't we have a Darla jingle? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, we've got 2 more episodes left. None with Darla, but You know?
Yeah. I feel like Darla's, were Darla to have a jingle, it should sound like Alone by Heart. Like, that should be the genre of music that is Darla's. Like, that's what I want.
I'll bring this to the powers that be.
Thank you. Great timing to come up with this idea.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
You tell that little one right now.
Jennifer,
you've got 24 hours. Here's your inspiration.
consult your piano. So, Drew is also in this, just briefly, like, gorgeous blue nightie that I was obsessed with. Spike screams in a very high-pitched manner that is unbecoming. It made me laugh.
Yeah. Son of
He's
a
like,
bitch
"Son
got
of
me
a
too.
It's so high. Loved it. The girls then make it clear that this sex was concurrent rather than in succession. And Angela says, "You never let us do that."
And I say, not my canon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
That's what I say here too. I write in all caps, "What are our thoughts on this?" And I said, I always felt like they were all fucking, which is really disappointing. I know I've complained about this season a lot and that people don't like it, but can't we all agree that this is wrong?
This is
They were all fucking.
100%.
They were all fucking.
They were 100% all fucking. Yeah. This is rewriting history right here. Incorrect.
Yeah, when they
you
have
so
moments
much.
like, there was that one time and you never let us do it. Not my canon. It was all the fucking time.
They were always all banging.
Yes. 1,000%.
Thank you. The girls then go off to take a bath together and enjoy a little consensual drowning while the boys scream. Angelus breaks some
Fucking
glass
see you
like
in
he's
fuck
Klaus
watch, you know what I mean?
Michelson. Absolutely. Ladies. And the boys vow blood vengeance. They go to the party. The bouncer tells them they are not on the list for the Immortals party, and they are tossed away. We get here, this is another moment of the boys kind of like hyping each other up, of the being like mentioning the time like the Immortals saved a bunch of nuns in Frankfurt that Angelus was gonna kill, and Spike yells, "Nuns are your thing. Everyone knows it. They respect it. They respect us." They do not. Real, it's
the
always
thing.
sunny vibes.
That's the thing, though. Like, people at least respect Angelus. So, like, this is like the meathead Angelus that we kind of got in season 4, where it's like, it can be fun, but it's like, it's not the kind of the guy you sold us.
It does undercut the person that they told us existed and was so
'Cause he's a
awful,
big
they had to
fucking
have his
deal.
soul ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's supposed to be really big and scary.
Except for when it comes to
Angel
Buffy,
screams
you
that this
know,
will
and
never be
all of his
over.
lovers.
So true. Back in present day Italy, Spike's like, "It's over." They're bummed. Buffy's fallen for
yeah.
some dude. Yeah, we get
I was
this
also
joke.
like, this flashback was so fucking long. It's the pacing of the stories in this episode are all over the place.
Yeah, and kind of just for a joke that's like they can't get into the party, which like doesn't really feel like you get that much bang for your buck. I don't know. They're like, "Oh, it sucks that Buffy's falling for some dude who's centuries old with a dark past who may or may not be evil." And then they both kind of do a little beat of like, "Now that I'm hearing that out loud, it sounds like us." And I'm like, this is too dumb a joke for either of them. Like, and I'm always here to tell everybody that these two boys are idiots. But both of them like saying that out loud and then being like, "Oh, well, now that I'm hearing it out loud, it does kind of sound like us." I'm like, they're both mind-breakingly dumb in this episode in a way that just like completely breaks the reality of this show. And I wish
With
I wish I
2
didn't have to
episodes
feel
left
that way.
for
Yes.
the rest of the series. The series is ending.
It's just wild to me. Now enters a bunch of weird little demons with thick Italian accents.
Okay, so here's the thing. Kristin's like, I love these Italian demons. I was like, and each rewatch, I'm still like, I feel like this is Star Wars prequel, like, racism. These are endless stereotypes, and I felt uncomfortable.
Because say more.
Especially, like, the main Italian demon, and I'm just like, this accent seems like, what is the Italian league that, like, tried to get The Godfather, like, not made? I feel like they should have tried to get this episode not made.
I felt very similarly, and I also felt like very confused about a lot of the like that's Italy jokes that are here. Like, it just did not feel right or good to me.
Well, yeah.
Like someone who doesn't know that much about Italian culture and has never been to Italy, like it just felt like a lot of like, you know how when you're in Italy and like everybody's like fawning all over you, and I'm like, I think that's just what it's like when you're rich in Italy. And like you're at a fancy resort and everyone's taking care of you. Like I don't know if
the
that's
White
what an
Lotus.
entire country's like. Like I don't know. Like it just that stuff wore thin on me pretty quick. Even though I liked their weird heads.
Yeah, the Italian head of Wolfram and Hart. I'm just like, I felt like she was going to try to sell me Prego at any moment. Honestly.
Maybe I am insulting all of my Italian ancestors by having loved the Italian bullshit, but I just loved the Italian bullshit. And I did have the thought of like, okay, but like, you know, where is the line? But like, where do you draw the line when it comes to like stereotyping cultures and blah, blah, blah. And like, right. I have grown up amongst a bunch of Italians constantly making caricatures of themselves on purpose, and so I was like, oh hell yeah, like this Italian, like I loved it so much. But I also like have talked about plenty of other places in the series where like we've done this with countries or cultures and taken issue with it. So I don't know, but I just listen, I love the sexy fucking Italian leader of Wolfram and Hart, and I loved the Italian bartender, and I loved the old grandma Italian demon. I just did, okay? I did.
You just love these Italian women, is what it is.
Italians.
I don't disagree. I do want to have a nice glass of wine with the head of Italian Wolfram and Hart. Like, let's talk. Let's have a pasta dinner.
I didn't like
I'm
her
interested.
racism, but like other than that, I was like all in for the Italians.
I mean, this is not as bad as Star Wars prequels racism. There's no Watto or Jar Jar happening here, but like it is heavy stuff. Because it's also like it's Italians, it's spicy white, so it's like technically not racism. It's just heavy stereotyping, and also the male demon has the worst line reading of the entire episode. It's like maybe she just likes the cut of his trousers. I'm like, this is the worst line reading I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, that made me feel insane.
But the Italian "fuck you" gesture from the multi-eared demon really fucking A+.
Did make me laugh. So we meet all the weird little Italian demons. They give him the capo's head in a little bowling ball bag, and because you only need the head, like everything will pupate out of that. What fun. And it's like, okay, time to take the head back to LA real quick. Cut to the boys are at Buffy's apartment again, being like, hey, Andrew has a little pore strip on because he's getting ready, and it's 2004. That got a little like, from me.
I can't believe you called it a pore strip and not a Biore strip. You know what I mean? Let's call it what it is.
There would be a commercial for the Biore strip too after these messages.
Ooh, fair enough. He's got a little Biore strip, and then we cut to Wes's office, and the breakneck like tone shifts going from like the goofy Italian demons to like, now I must tell the love of my life's parents that her body is a husk being used by and puppeted around by an immortal god.
Because here's the thing, we talk about how like the Spike Angel stuff obviously should happen sooner. Like this plot should be the whole episode, and it should be everyone, the whole team's like reaction to seeing what Illyria can do. Because the problem with this story, as well as great as Amy and Alexis's performances are, is that it really drives home like this whole story is about Wes. It's about Wes's man pain, and like part of that and stuff like this is the reason why Wesley literally has like the best character development of like any Buffyverse character. Like I don't discount that, but it is like her, like Fred's story becomes Wesley's story. Wesley's the only one who loved her. The fact that neither Gunn nor Lauren, who despite being here, see that Illyria can turn into Fred, and Gunn has had no reaction to this Illyria stuff other than like when she like saved him from suburban hell, and that was it. That's absurd.
Wild.
Gunn and Lauren, probably the two closest other people. I mean, clearly Gunn, but like Lauren too. Like they are the two closest people
Lauren
to
is-
Fred outside of or including Wes, you know?
Yeah. Lauren is literally drinking sea braces at work nonstop because of the Fred situation.
Yeah.
And the fact they have, because honestly, everyone in Wolfman Heart should be losing their shit the second they see Fred, because they all know. Like, they're all like evil, but like they know what happened. Like, that's not normal. You wouldn't be just walking like about your day. You'd be like, that's something like this creature who's like super powerful and we're all kind of on edge about can do.
Yeah.
What's this now?
Like ruh-roh. So yeah, it is just wild. And but in this scene, the Burkles are impressed by the new digs that are Wes's office. They talk shit about the Hyperion, which I didn't care for.
Especially after seeing the set that we hate. That's something we will say we hate, because I got so tired of it in this episode. But like the other reason why this whole story should just be its own plot is because it would be a perfect follow-up to Fredless, where they're all trying to hide that Fred is like dead from her parents.
Yeah.
And so they, we have a bit about them being like, you call us Roger and Trish, come on. And they're so warm and sweet. And Wes is in just this like paralyzingly awful situation. You're just like, oh my God, like, what are you going to do, man?
They ask him once if everything's fine. And it's like, he's like staring daggers and he's seething throughout. Like, he's not fine. No. You should be asking him constantly if he's fine, because he's not.
Yeah. And he tries to tell them, but then in walks Fred, which is, Illyria pretending to be Fred. Then we cut to the club, aka the Italian Bronze. A DJ is scratching a record.
What? That shitty techno is playing, but then the DJ is doing all that scratching for no reason. What is this? What is this show? They had club scenes before in this show. Why can't they do it right now?
I was just like, this show's made by old men.
What did DeKnight and Goddard do? How much worse could this have been if this is the result?
No. I don't know, and I'm scared.
I need to talk to one of them and ask them, what? How did these episodes happen on your watch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you are Drew Goddard or Stephen S. DeKnight, call us off mic. Let's just talk about what was happening this season.
We just need to know for ourselves.
To hear.
Yeah. I need to know why these two, they shouldn't be teaming up and having the worst episodes. It makes no sense.
They teamed up and made a great season of Daredevil, so we know it doesn't have to be this way.
We know based on literally every episode they've written independently of this show.
Like, both fantastically talented dudes. I do not know why all their team-ups are stinky no good. But this season, they are all stinky no good.
Are they lying about who actually wrote the episodes? Was it someone else? Was it just like some like executive from Fox being like, I want to write an episode? Okay. And they wrote this and they're like, put DeKnight and Goddard's name on it. No one will say anything bad then.
Perhaps. So we're walking through the club. The techno is bumping. Angel
The scratching is bumping.
The scratching is scratching. Angel's like, dancing. Why did it have to be dancing? Like, okay, Indiana Jones.
Okay. Yeah, that might be casual for you all who know Indiana Jones, but as someone who just watched it, I was so excited to get that reference. You have no idea. I was like, oh my
Kristen,
God,
you haven't heard that reference in all of your 52 years of life?
I mean, excuse me. The amount of times that reference has gone over my head. I mean, literally, the first time I watched this episode, like all of the times, I've never known what it was from until I watched Indiana Jones, and here it was for me, and I knew. And
then, like, last season of Angel, they literally had steaks. Why did it have to be steaks?
As a podcast network, our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, They provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.
It's pretty clear to everyone by now that social media has changed everything from the way we live to how we discuss politics and what we think we know about the world around us. Which begs the question, who's in charge here? Hi, I'm Jon Favreau, former Obama speechwriter turned chronically online host of Offline with Jon Favreau. Join me every week just outside your social media-fueled echo chamber for a smarter, lighter conversation about the real-time changes and real-world effects of social media and the internet on all of our lives. Check out Offline with Jon Favreau every Sunday wherever you get your podcasts.
So they go up to a bartender, they describe Buffy, and the bartender's like, yeah, girls really go wild here at spring break. Oof. But she's familiar with the immortal. She points out a blonde girl dancing. We see the back of her head. And Spike takes off.
I'm sorry. Has the stand-in never seen Sarah Michelle Gellar dance?
Agree.
We're all
like,
doing the dance.
What are the fucking kids in like a Peanuts dance like Christmas musical like doing like this?
Agree.
God, these are
clearly
good
not.
bits.
I mean, honestly, though, it isn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually that this potential is just like did not study up on the footage from the bronze.
But like,
doing bad
these
job.
men, Angel Spike know what Buffy looks like when she's dancing.
Yeah, they're like, blonde hair must be Buffy.
Yeah, it's like.
And then this
Angel,
dude
did you
is
forget
again.
when she was bad.
The immortal is a Frankenstein doing. And he's like his big boxy suit.
That's not Ian Somerhalder.
Yeah, he's got moves, okay?
Yeah, come on. Ian can dance. Oh my gosh. So Spike like takes off and Angel's like, you don't have a shot, Blondie Bear. Damn. Spike is like, you know what? I know I don't have a chance with her and I probably never did, but I have to stop her from being with the immortal. Or you. Love that this is still Spike's POV on this. Interesting to me. Love. And Angel then snaps at him, ours is a forever love. I write in my notes, you're writing that in your diary, bitch. I know it.
This is literally like Morgan peeking her head out from the bar and being like, theirs is a forever love.
Absolutely me. They then realize they've misplaced the head of the Capo de Familia and the little, what we I think all believe to be the most offensive little Italian demon guy is taking it. Then they're accosted by more dudes and some violence begins. This leads us into what I think is my favorite part of the Italy stuff, this slow-mo fight sequence that's seemingly set to Dean Martin.
Yes, this is the best part.
This is amazing.
Like, this was a big swing. The boys fighting in slow motion, and they're doing well until Spike accidentally hits Angel. It's
this and the 1950s flashback that are best because like they're actually like interesting choices the show is
formally
making like it used to.
Yes. The fear on Spike's face when he realizes he's just hit Angel.
Yes.
Then Angel getting mad and hitting Spike back. Then them hitting each other at the same time. Like, there's just so... The whole process of it and, like, all of their face journeys, quite good. Really enjoyable to me. We speed up again. Spike yells. He says he got confused because it's loud in here. He calls Angel a git. That's always gets points from me. And the demon gets away with the head. Outside. The demon takes their car. Spike hops on a Vespa and says, "Hop on, little mama."
Still getting me.
What?
Still getting me.
See-
Still getting me.
See,
I know I'm not supposed to think it's funny. I think it's funny. Okay.
I'm not judging. I just thought it was funnier when they did it in season 2 with Wesley's motorcycle and Angel had the pink helmet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little Mama is really where I lost it. Like, I didn't think I would ever get to hear Spike call Angel Little Mama. And
The homoeroticism. There it is.
There is. I'm not gonna complain about that. Not gonna complain about Little Mama whatsoever. You're not
Damn,
gonna catch
Kristine,
me
you don't have to
doing
preemptively be like, sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I promise. You're safe. You're safe here. We then get Angel riding on the back of the Vespa, which is cute, but we get this like very slow backlot car chase.
Yes. Again, is this big fat liar?
I just wrote, I cannot believe I'm watching a backlot car and Vespa chase when I could be hanging out with a gun. We are in the last 100 minutes of Angel the TV show, and this is happening.
Yeah.
And the reason Kristine, I bring up Big Fat Liar is like it's not just a backlot on there. Like, they address that it's a backlot on Big Fat Liar. Here it's just like this is still not as egregious as the rooftop scene between Wes and Illyria.
It's not. Yeah.
That was like a green screen, or not a green screen. It was just like a screen that had like it was like painted. That was disappointing.
That was hard to see. This is better than that. So again, we're being so positive. The car hits them. The Vespa falls apart. The boys yell at each other. They only have 12 hours to get the head back before everything's fucked. And Angel's like, we get the head and we get out of here, and that's it. Cut to them at the club being like, are you sure you haven't seen Buffy and she isn't here? Jesus Christ. I write in my notes that the stakes of this are bullshit. The bartender's like, she's gone, sorry. And they're like, this is classic Immortal. Spike has a joke about how the Immortal got him imprisoned for tax evasion.
I love the parallel, Morgan, of you being like, we have 100 minutes left and this is what we're doing. And also inside of the episode, they have like no time left and they still go back to the bar for Buffy. There's like something happening there, you know?
It's very much, it's touching on that constantly. And I'm like, that joke isn't funny to me because of this. And they're like, isn't this joke funny? Let's do it 5 more times. And I'm like, no, please.
Again, it'd be one thing if the show was getting renewed and we knew there'd be another seseason. Yeah. It's like, okay, but like we know the show's ending. You know, they're making the show knowing it's ending. Yeah. Why are you doing this to us? Yeah.
I'm so confused. So the boys are like, this is a fluke. You know, if we were in LA, the Immortal would be fucked because we'd have all of our cool toys and gadgets and shit. And Spike's like, hey, doesn't Wolfram and Hart have like an Italian office? Cut to Wolfram and Hart Rome. I'm in the beige place again.
It's where I read my notes. 1, this show has no money. I can't wait to not see the set for a long time. And remember, I was excited about the set at the start of the season.
You guys,
too.
The addition of a small wine rack inside of one of the Wolfram and Hart offices to place it in Italy was where I was like, oh wow, this is how we're making it Italian. A small wine rack in the middle of the room. Okay.
And my second thing is, because I'm paying attention to the stories that they're trying to tell as we're hurtling toward the end, is that the whole deal is that like Angel and co have the LA branch. Like that's really all they have. Because the rest, as far as we know, the rest of the branches operate the same way as they ever, and probably wouldn't want to help Angel because of the competition for profits. But hey, we have no money. We have the same set. The end.
Yeah. Yep. Wild. The hot lady who's in charge of Italian Wolfram and Hart gives them some air kisses. We get a runner about how she's racist and spits a lot. She's
how she / Italians in general are racist.
This was the one moment for me with the Italian stuff that I was like, okay, like that was, and it's twice. They don't even pull this joke once. They pull it twice. Like they go hard on it. It's not great.
Yeah, it's rough. It's not good. She's like, we'll get you anything you want. It's our way.
Maybe the DeKnight and Goddard team up is so no one can point the finger at anyone specifically. It's just like, put your names on it. And then they can't be like, I know you wrote this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's both of them. If you ask either of them a question about any of these 3 episodes, they both just point to each other. And run run away.
Serpentine.
And to that I say, very clever, boys, but I will find you. So then back in Wolfram and Hart, LA, Roger's impressed with Fred's lab. Trish is recalling that time she ran over the demon with the bus. I'm like, I remember. Take me back. She says, how is that the last time we all saw each other? Trish asks Wes, like, is there a lady in your life? Because she can't help herself. She wants to do some matchmaking.
She wants Wes and Fred to fuck.
Or she wants to fuck Wes. That was the plot twist I didn't see coming.
Yeah, she said, if you don't fuck him, I will.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
and I was
Mom.
like, damn.
I can't remember. Did they
Roger.
fuck before she illyriated or no? Or and then we joked about how he couldn't close.
I think he could not close. They were together I think 12 hours before it happened. It was something
And she
crazy
wanted to take
like
it
that,
slow, I
believe.
think, right?
Yeah, or he did or something. It was really embarrassing. He absolute cuck stuff, you know. to use a word that Spike loves. In season 5 especially. Because I love season 5. Fred is like, let me show you my office. I'm putting Fred in quotes. And Wes and Illyria get this little moment while Roger and Trish have ducked into Fred's office.
Yeah, Wes has been staring daggers during this tour too the whole time.
Uncomfortable.
Yes. Why do you hate our daughters, sir?
I'm single because I don't want to fuck this one.
And Illyria explains, the grief that's hanging off of Wes and everybody in here is so much she can't tolerate it from Roger and Trish, too. So she thought this would be more convenient. And that's kind of all we get from her about her own motivation for doing this. Mm-hmm. For me, that's the piece I'm missing the most. Again, it's really annoying to make it all about Wes, but to me, it's also really annoying to not have any discussion ever about Illyria's internal self. There's no one she can talk to, and there's nothing. So rarely can she express how she feels other than when the world met me, it shuddered and groaned, and that kind of thing. I want to know why. How does she feel about these people in this place? Why is she staying here? I know that's hard to dramatize because it's not like Illyria would talk about her feelings, but you dramatize
You could have people like Gunn or Lauren trying to get it out of her. Honestly, if they weren't doing this, Spike would be around, and she and Spike have a thing, a connection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it would have been nice. So Illyria is like, do you want me to stop? And Wes does not stop her from doing this because, he can't bear to break news to her parents.
She says it's a simple modulation of her form. I appear as I choose, and I'm like, hot.
Hot.
Her with Illyria voice, but Fred visage. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, what's up?
Yep. On my fuck watch list, big time.
I'm zooping over on my Vespa.
Yeah.
So back at the Rome office, the boys tell.
The sad part of the scene is when Trish comes out and said that Fred's office is bare as bone. It's bare because Wes cleaned it out after Fred died.
Yeah.
The chick's poster isn't even there anymore. Everything's gone. It's empty because she hasn't been there. No one's been there.
Yeah, it's
no one's in the lab anymore at all. Actually,
I don't think anyone does science at Wolfram and Hart anymore.
The show is made with $10 now.
Absolutely wild. So then in Rome, the boys tell their Roman counterpart they're looking for the immortal. Spike makes a joke about how the immortal has climbed Everest. It's all just emasculation comedy here. Remember, again, the stakes of this.
Yeah. I've called the Italian scenes now Stereotypes Are Us.
Fair enough.
Fair. I mean, that is literally every Italian scene.
Yes. I just remember when the stakes of the show were about the war between good versus evil rather than who was the coolest and most righteous dude who fucks, but whatever. She is also had sex with the immortal, this lady.
Something that that's what I was thinking about so much is how the Buffyverse is this mix of both, and this I definitely agree with especially this being so close to the end of the season, but it's like I see maybe what the attempt is here in terms of like emotional back and forth of like we're a universe that can do this funny shtick in Italy where the demons throw meatballs at you, and also we can be, you know, immersed in this loss and grief and yada yada, and you know, so I think like that was probably the aim. Whether missing or not, I kind of get it.
I'm just wondering, what is the emotional issue we're getting at here? Because I mean, given that like all the beats are just like over and over again, I feel emasculated.
No, I mean
wish
the
Buffy was
emotional
mine.
beats are in the Illyria side.
Oh, in the Illyria side.
There's
like,
no
what?
emotional beats at all in Italy.
Because we've already been through all the stuff in Italy between these two. Like we're like hitting the same beats over and over again.
Yeah.
Because to skip forward a little bit to the end, like when Andrew puts on his tux and goes on his date with two girls, he says, you know, people change. And like, so the idea is supposed to be that like Spike and Angel are like locked in the past in a way, or I guess is like the story that they're trying to tell with this Buffy thing. And that's not like, I mean, that's interesting to talk about, like two like immortal figures who cannot get over some like petty shit and stuff like that. But that just doesn't feel like a story connected to anything other than these two dudes being around each other and squabbling a lot this year, which doesn't really seem to carry any weight. It has not carried any weight for me since Destiny. So I just, this should have been pre-Destiny. Or like just post-Destiny. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. My only thing was like, I wonder if like these flashbacks then like stomp on Destiny, but I don't think they do. Like, make it a two-parter. That way you have flashbacks both times. And it just and you'd also then you could bang them out like filming wise like at the same time. That would probably help with, you know, budget, since you know that's a huge issue here.
Look at us bored in this. Get us on with the line, producer. We'll get this stuff all hammered out. Italian Wolfram Hart leading lady has fucked the Immortal too.
Did they give her a name?
They did, because at first, in a very funny turn of events, Michael walked in while I was watching this for the third time, and this lady came out, and I was like, they don't even give her a name. And then she says her name really fast, and I forgot it immediately. And I was like, I'm such a fucking idiot.
Let's see, what is her name?
So she does have a name. It's just given very quickly.
Ilona.
Mm-hmm. Ilona. Okay, Ilona. So Ilona, you know, they're like,
they don't even give her a name.
Yeah. I'm so stupid. I can't emphasize that enough. The boys are like, Buffy's under a spell by the Immortal. And she's like, the Immortal doesn't use magic. He doesn't like spells. Come on. They're like, wake Italian Wes up. And because he's taking a nap, which is another Italian joke. And they're like, the Immortal doesn't use magic. She's like, hey, you're here for the head, not for Buffy. They got a ransom note for the head. The drop is going to happen in less than an hour. And the boys are like, cool, we want an assault team. And she's like, no, I have a suitcase full of money. You do the drop. Literally, when the boys are discussing the assault team that they want, Spike says, guns, lots of guns. You're telling me this boy doesn't love the Matrix? You're telling me this boy isn't
there it
the
is.
Matrix Reloaded?
No. I thought we were getting the Matrix in the Frank Sinatra slow-mo fight scene, but we got it here.
No. We're getting. I mean, that's not bullet time. That's just Dean Martin time. The boys are like, oh, fine, we'll do the drop and not use a bunch of guns and helicopters. We're on the backlot Rome streets.
Yeah. So I see also a note that David Greenwalt described this episode as, you know, sort of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go to Rome, which, I mean, we all know I love the Immortal Bard.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, it's on record.
Kenneth Branagh.
But yeah, so Hamlet, that's where Rosencrantz and Guildenstern come from. They are side characters. They are tertiary characters. That's the whole point of the play. Then you don't do that with your two leads. This would be like a Gunn and if this was a Gunn and Lorne mess around, then it's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
I really wanted it to be a Harmony and Lorne mess around, just for what it's worth.
Yes, something like that. That's this.
Yeah.
When it's your two leads.
Number 1 and 2 on the call sheet are not Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. It's very silly. We're on the backlot streets. The boys are making the drop, and they're arguing about who has saved the world more. Angel, in this moment, claims that he made Buffy stab him to kill Akathla.
This bit, I do... much like the immortal dancing has been burned into my brain for years, like she signaled me with her eyes has been burned into my brain for years.
Oh my god, him literally being like, I let her do it, like I did it, and then the 1-2 of it of Spike being like, actually I helped her, so I get that one. I was like,
they should have shown like the flashback to it and see if his wet eyes were signaling.
Yeah, no signal, Angel, none. Your eyes were saying, I love you, kiss me.
What happened?
Your eyes were closed, bitch. That was the whole
point. It's called Close Your Eyes.
But before he closed his eyes, he's like, I'm gonna close my eyes, but first.
Yeah.
A little wink. I write in my notes, I'm begging you with everything I have to leave Becoming Part 2 alone. Now the little demon comes and makes the joke about Buffy liking the cut of the Immortal's trousers.
Awful delivery. I'm like, stop doing this.
I don't care for it. Back at Wolfram and Hart, Fred, in quotes, says goodbye to her parents.
Wes is seething, and they think this is normal. And technically it is normal for Wes, but like, come on.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'd love this guy to marry our daughter. Like, I'm like, you should be very worried.
Yeah,
he seems like not a cool guy to be around.
Do you guys know that she dated Gunn? Do they know this?
Oh my god.
Did she talk about Gunn?
She should have.
She hasn't seen them in like 2 years, right? So probably
but
not.
She had to have talked about Gunn during that time, right?
To them. Yeah, I mean, I assume yes. And she also like they're like, she hasn't talked to them since she died, which has been like what, like couple months?
Yeah.
Wild. And
she probably last time she talked to him, she's like, I think I might be getting back together with Gunn. Cut to.
Whatever makes you happy, sweetheart. This seethingly angry man with fixed hair.
I can sense his hair's been fixed. I can sense it was much shorter just last week.
And I appreciate the effort.
Kristen, did you see this hair? Did you see what his hair looked like in the last episode?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
It's too little.
He looked like fucking Protozoa from Xenon.
That I have.
Wes, do zoom.
I'm gonna get the picture out.
Yeah, great.
Zetus Lapidus. Yeah, Kristen, I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on the Xenon trilogy.
Okay.
You don't have to watch the third one.
You don't. It's about the Space Olympics.
They also recast Protozoa in the third one, so what's the point?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I put an image in there.
Shit. Oh, the galaxy is ours. My. Oh wait, no. Galaxies are
Galaxies too, yeah.
It's X3 is You're Out of This World, which sucks.
Oh my
yeah,
god,
with the
this fucking hair.
Yes, right? Iconic.
Like, absolute. That is unbelievable. Wow.
Incredible.
You can understand why Xenon was in love with him.
Clearly. Wow.
And wanted to go to his concert on the space station.
Why can't rock stars look like this now?
I don't know.
They're not trying hard enough, clearly.
Exactly.
Why doesn't every member of Boy Genius look like this?
I'll forward the photo along.
Send this to little Jenny, actually. Jenny, when you're on tour, I want you to look like this.
Yeah. Hell yes. Actually, Jenny, do a cover of Zoom, please.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So Wolfram and Hart, Fred is saying goodbye to her parents. Her mom is like, you seem different. And Roger's like, she's just growing up, honey. And then they leave.
He does
and it's
call
like,
his wife mother. This is a thing he does. He doesn't say honey, he says mother.
Oh, mother.
I
Wild.
hate it. No.
Well, see, I like Roger, but like I don't love him saying mother.
Yeah, don't do that. The Burkles leave. They're very cute, and the elevator doors close, and Wes drops whatever facade he was attempting to put on, which is barely anything, and says, "Did you get what you needed from that experience?" to her, and she says, "Yes. It was most informative." And then he says, "Good, don't ever do it again." And then they don't talk to each other anymore, and we're done.
And I'm like, everyone like walking back and forth with Wolfman Heart right now should be freaking out.
Yes, and I'm like,
how is Harmony not freaking out?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's interesting this is something that Illyria can do. It's interesting it's something she did of her own volition, but, like, it feels like an incomplete thought. Like, because, again, it's all about Wes being sad, and we already know Wes is sad. That isn't new news to me.
Wes has always been sad.
He's sad every day of his fucking life.
Boy.
And I love the sad man, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not saying anything bad about sad men. I love them.
The only thing bad we said about Wes is that he's a cuck.
Absolutely. And I'll stand by that forever. He's also an incel. And I love him.
He's our incel.
Oh,
yes.
Our little
my emotional
incel.
support incel.
See, Angel's a vol cell, so it's different.
Yes, it's different. And when it was
Kristin loves this.
Pilled.
Kristen's like, I can't believe I missed this all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Incel
then on
corner,
the Italian
you know?
Streets.
Yes.
The Italian demon is saying, you know, Buffy and the Immortal, you know, it's unfortunate for you guys, but it's fortunate for Buffy. And the Brando, I wrote that he was like kind of doing a little bit of a Brando Godfather-y
sure.
kind of thing.
For
I don't like it.
It's not good.
No.
And he has someone standing to his right. Oh, I don't know if it's at this point, but it does happen. Who looks like a bald Jake Lacey with a pencil-thin mustache, and I will share the image with you because I did take a screenshot.
I did see the pencil-thin
Horrifying.
mustache. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm like, that looks like bald Jake Lacey. Look at him.
Oh, wow,
Okay,
yeah.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a bald Jake Lacey.
Fair. So the Brando demon waxes poetic about the Immortal, and Spike's like, "What, are you in love with him?" This is his one good line delivery. He goes, No. Well, yes, but like,
Yeah.
and that's how I feel about many people. If you ask me, "What, are you in love with them?" I'd be like, No. Well, yeah, but anyways, like,
That's not the point.
I can relate. Even a broken clock. He says, no, he's more of an inspiration. Have you read his book? It's a life changer. The boys start fighting. The Italian guy makes comments about, Americans using violence to solve their problems. Not a surprise.
I'm like these men aren't Americans, but okay.
Yeah, like, what are we doing? Then this demon, he has the head in the bag, and he puts a gun to it, and he's like, come on, time to do the switch. Spike gives up the money. We get the briefest flash of briefcase Spike once again. And they do the exchange. The boys are left with the bag, and they're like, I can't believe those dudes aren't in league with the Immortal. But anyways, we got the thing that we needed to get, and they open it, and it has a bomb in it that is ticking down from like 4 seconds. Real Looney Tunes shit. Cut to. The backlot Italian streets are on fire. Spike's jacket has melted off of him. He screeches that everyone has no idea what he went through to get this.
It is.
And I
was gonna say, it's wild that, like, considering how important the jacket is to the character, that they kind of just like made a joke out of destroying it in the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very.
It's like,
yeah, very weird.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing matters, but also, like Robin Hood catching strays still crazy. Like, leave him alone.
He continues to be disrespected. Just leave this man alone.
Give him peace. But I did write in my notes, losing a jacket is never easy, Spike. I feel you. Like,
I felt that way about Stumptown.
The
We lost
deep
many jackets.
bisexual connection that I feel with Spike in this moment. Like, jacket grief is real.
True.
See a professional about it if you're struggling at home. Angel's like, buy a fucking new one. And Spike's like, shut up. Like, it's another thing the Immortals taken that I'll never get back. It's my second skin. I feel this way about several cardigans. We cut to Wolfram and Hart, Italy. And Alona's putting a new jacket on Spike. And he's like, oh, okay, this solves it all. It's fine.
You know
and
who
she's
would have,
sending
like,
10 more to Los Angeles.
would have loved to have the jacket? Robin Wood.
Yes.
His dead mother's jacket.
Yeah, if Spike
Then
could have just
Angel-
taken a replacement jacket this whole time, how about that? How about we do that sooner before his jacket blows
Would have
up?
been nice.
Would have been cool. Yeah.
Angel walks in one of those fucking, like, 2004 motorcycle NASCAR ass looking jackets. I said, this motherfucker looks like Jeff Gordon. Like, what's going on?
This really got me. I got a good chuckle. From this ridiculous Italian leather jacket joke.
Yeah, Alona's like, you look gorgeous. And Angel's like, I don't know. And the boys are like, give us a fucking assault team. And she's like, no. Brute force will get your head smushed. Leave this to us. And then she shuts the door and locks them out.
Why didn't
Angel...
I know why, because then the story doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Why wasn't the Italian office just put in charge of this in the first place? Because they're in Italy.
Yeah.
Or why weren't the demons flown to Italy for the head instead of the round trip time that it takes to get from Italy to Los Angeles, which is a long time?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they bring like a third whose actual job was just to do the head stuff while they're looking for Buffy?
Would have been a good job for Gunn. Who
He has
do
nothing
cool
else to do in this
international
episode.
shit.
Yeah.
So the boys are like, give us the assault team. They're like, no. And Angel is finally like, now that they've been shut out of the office, can we just go home? And Spike's like, yeah. Cut to them at Buffy's place. Andrew is getting out of the shower before he goes out. Buffy is not back yet. Spike asks if Buffy is acting weird, like she's under a spell. And he's like, no. This is where Angel shits on the fucking cookie dough line.
Because it's not good.
Counterpoint.
Sorry. This is where
it's
LaToya
not-
and Kristin roast Morgan for a moment. You know what I mean?
Counterpoint, it's not meant to be good. She the whole point.
Counterpoint for season 5. It's not meant to be good. So
Yeah.
there we go. It's perfect.
The whole point is she is like trying to articulate that she doesn't know yet, that she is unfinished. Like it's the full like, I don't know, I'm cookie dough. It's not that, but it's like I'm cookie dough, you know? Like, and it's a silly comment meant to be kind of goofy and just her being vulnerable with someone and saying like, I don't know yet, dude. Like I can't. And I just fucking hate hearing Angel be patronizing about Buffy telling him she wasn't ready for him yet. Like I know he's like under stress in this moment and he's mad and this has been like a whole crazy night, but it actually just genuinely felt like shitty and disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was something she told you in confidence because she cares about you and felt vulnerable enough with you to kind of say something stupid, which you can do with someone you love and trust, and you're here shitting on it to everybody else. Like, that's not their relationship. I don't appreciate it. Say what you want about Buffy and Angel and their whole thing and whether you buy into it or not. But like, they don't just like blatantly disrespect each other behind each other's backs. And it really rubbed me the wrong way in the midst of a episode and season that have done that several times.
Well,
so I freaked out.
Because my issue, and it's just something I'm realizing now, besides, you know, the cookie dough thing, we will never agree on this. My issue is not like the content of it. It's the actual verbiage of the cookie dough is what I can't take. But my issue here is that, like, so was Buffy, like, if she's trying to figure herself out, she's not allowed to, like, I know the moral, he doesn't like the moral. Is she, like, not allowed to date anyone, like, ever?
Right.
And also, Angel, can you, like, allow her to become a full-grown adult? Like, she's still, like, in her early 20s.
Yeah.
Like, this it kind of reeks of, like, he only wants to just, like, be with her when she's still young. It's like a mature adult when she finally comes back to him. Ew.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what it
okay,
feels
so
like.
You
And
could
I
be
know
with
that's
Nina
not-
and not this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Look at the younger model over here.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It just like all reeks of grossness.
And it's not the intent, but it's like it's what maybe if some women were working on the show, we'd
Right, like the
someone
intent,
call it
like,
out.
One
oh,
woman
they're
was
so
around.
butthurt. Right, like that's the intent, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The effect is just kind of shitty. So, meanwhile, Andrew's like, is Angel crying from the other room? Honestly, kind of funny. And Spike's like, no, not yet. Andrew's like, look, the immortal has flaws, but Buffy's moving on and you should too. And Spike's like, yeah, it's silly that we're chasing her
They should
around.
I'm sorry, they should just wring his neck for constantly fucking with them. This guy got on his fucking high horse and damage, and then this whole thing, like, beat the shit out of him. Angel has no allegiance to this kid.
But they never
beat his
know.
ass.
They never know that he's fucking with them in this, do they?
No.
I don't think they ever learn, but like, just for the disrespect from damage, beat the shit out of him. The way Andrew like interacts with Angel, I'm just like, you need to learn. You need your ass kicked. That's the thing with the trio. They all needed their ass kicked
Honestly,
more.
I will never disagree with the fact that Andrew could really stand for getting his ass kicked. I agree.
Because
with
again,
that.
he should have gone to prison.
Yeah. He
Faith went to prison.
Yes. This little bitch has the audacity to do this. Is just shocking to me. It's like, have you not gotten away with enough? Like,
Literally gotten away with murder.
Be thankful. Be a new person who's good. Like, and you're not. You just suck.
I also
like,
feel,
I hate it.
I mean, this is neither here nor there, but I also just feel like in terms of continuity with the universe of the show, there's just something always lacking to me that these guys would not always know what's up with the other guys. Like that Angel would not know that there are 3 Buffys or whatever. Like that, I just feel like if your job is saving the world and you're one of a select few people who can do that thing, then like and we've talked about this for seasons, but it's just like, how are we not talking? How are we not having a like bi-monthly meeting? Where all of the
at
world
least
savers get on a Zoom
Conference call.
just get on the call, guys.
At least Damage like provided the out where like the Team Buffy doesn't trust Team Angel, but like we're cracking jokes now, so who cares?
Yeah.
We're doing
it's
little
just-
pranks. Shut up, Andrew. I hate you.
Andrew's 2 dates arrive and he's in a tuxedo and he leaves with them. Okay. And he's like, people change, guys. I write, ciao, Andrew. And that's a series wrap on Andrew. Suckers.
Number 1 on the call sheet, Andrew.
As folks who listen to the buffering journey, like I love Tom Lenk and I really loved Andrew in the beginning. LaToya has been consistent from the beginning.
Yes, if you ever want to say I hate something, it is always Andrew. You can't give me the bunch on that.
But I found humor in Andrew. I saw the purpose of Andrew's character in Buffy. And now I'm reading the comics and I am burning out on how heavily they lean on Andrew in the comics. So like having that and this at the same time, like it's just, you want to talk about the same joke over and over again in terms of a Spike and Angel. It's like they have been hammering Andrew with the same jokes over and over again. And I liked them in the beginning. I'm like LaToya. I liked them in the beginning. I'm also getting a little tired. There's a Buffy comic where they basically do storyteller all over again. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why? What? Yeah.
I haven't watched season 7 in a while, so I feel very. I feel like I really only all my recent Andrew memories are season 5 of Angel Andrew memories, which I think do the character no favors whatsoever. And I think even fans of Andrew would probably say that.
Yes.
So I don't have a solidified like Andrew take, but I definitely see pieces of both of what you guys are saying. Like, it's a character that I've enjoyed in the past and in my present am not enjoying. But yeah, I do love Tom Lenk though, and it's just a bummer. Like, you can let him be funny and charming and stuff. It doesn't have to be like this. We then go to Wes's office and we get the final Wes and Illyria
we don't go to
scene.
Wes's office yet because it's time for fuck watch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Watch.
Who are you guys fucking? Kristen, you're the guest. I believe you have to go first.
Okay.
Yeah, guess fuck
This
first.
was a really, really fucking hard choice for me. I was choosing mostly between two. There were some hot Italians that I had to say, no, not this time, you know. But my choice is Illyria in Fred's appearance. That is
hot.
Complicated, kind of fucked up, but it's my choice. I almost went with Darla and Drusilla in a bathtub. And honestly, the immortal was on the table for me. Like, I just want to know.
Especially once you learned it was Damon Salvatore.
Yeah,
now that I know
but
this.
I'm going with Illyria. It doesn't have to just be as Fred. I'm just going with the complexity that is Illyria. I'd like to know what that's all about.
I think I'll also go with Illyria as Fred specifically. I think I'll do that because, I mean, there's no consent issues because Fred's dead.
Yeah,
her whole soul is gone.
Exactly.
This is, so we're all good there. But also, I do want to chime in and add, I will also be fucking an off-screen character, which is the napping Italian Wesley.
Yes. Now that's a motherfucker I can vibe with.
Yeah, that's a good choice. A fucking great
Don't
choice.
you have an Italian Wesley? Yes, but he's napping.
Oh my God, we'll
I
just
was
fuck Illyria and then after fucking Illyria nap with Italian Wesley.
Yes.
I was like, a Wes with work-life balance? Call me. I will be fucking Drew and Darla in the bath concurrently.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. No, it's right there for you. You know, it's really
She basically called us cucks for not choosing.
I know.
Absolutely, these two fucking cucks. As a high T alpha, I'm just so doing what I got to do.
Oh God.
So I was trying to say, how deep this podcast is and how we get into stuff. We just keep talking about cucks and high tea.
I think it's great.
And incels and vol cells.
Yeah, this podcast is really educational for knowing about issues that come up on 4chan. And that's Fuck Watch.
It is.
Then in Wes's office, we get the end of the storyline. Illyria comes into Wes and is like, "Are you mad at me or something?" as Fred. And then Illyria as Fred is like, "Come on, you love me, I love you.
Damn,
What's the big deal?"
This is like when Lila dressed up as Fred, but like he's not trying to smash this time.
Yes. And Wes is like, "I loved her." And she goes, "No, you loved this." And a part of you still does. I can feel it in you. I wish to explore it further. Like, in this moment, Illyria is being vulnerable. And to me, that is fascinating. She is going like, what if we, like, come on, like, don't you feel it? Like, what's going on here? And Wes is like, no, it sickens me. And I'm like, boo, hiss, cuck. Like, I'm bored.
Because this is where I'm like, this stuff rules, but like I said, everyone in Wolfman Heart should be freaking out. We should be seeing Gunn and Lauren reacting to this as well. Because we have zero of Gunn's like actual reaction to Illyria.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
And I also have the question where I'm like, well, Wes, if you are like being like an operative and you are trying to do like what's best for the world and all of this shit, wouldn't having Illyria like somewhat indebted to you and in your pocket, because she loves fucking you or whatever, be a helpful thing? Like I'm interested in the like Wes doing spycraft and being like, okay, I'll explore this connection so that I can like essentially like turn Illyria into like my own asset. Like that seems like what a smart person would be doing, and then you could get into like a bunch of like tangly, complicated, thorny emotions here. But instead he's just kind of like being Wes and being morally righteous and being like, no, I'm sickened, and turning away, when I'm very interested in the middle ground, which is the fact that both of them kind of want to fuck each other.
This is what it's what he'd do in season 4.
I was gonna
They
say
shoot a bunch of guns.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, on the one hand, I can understand Wes being like, there is no emotional way that I could ever do this thing, and on the other hand, remember Lila and remember Tina. What was her name? And remember
Justine.
like remember
chain.
like Wes's capacity for insane shit is high. So like
Yes.
I also could see believing that even though this is a thing that like I couldn't do, maybe none of us could, like watching the show could do, like Wes might be the guy.
If he still had that neck scar, he'd do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
God, I miss next scar Wes. He would have done something cool and chaotic. But like Wes, Wes is like, this is gross. And Fred goes, oh Lord, we both know that ain't true. Like, she's like, you want a piece of this, dude. And he is like, change into anything. Like, be blue, be anything fucking else. Like, I don't want this. And he leaves. And then Illyria is blue again and goes, as you wish.
I was just going to say, like, how fucking cool would it have been if, like, this storyline kept Gunn included, and Gunn was the one who was like, I cannot do this, and Wes's fucking batshit little brain was the one that was like, I will fuck this version of Illyria for like that would be so in keeping with I think the characters that we know, and also would do service to the love that Gunn and Fred had.
And give both actors just like something meaty and complicated and interesting to play instead of just like kind of the edges of a story, which feels like it's not really doing anything yet. And also we're supposed to be playing that like Wes is kind of going mad. So I do think it like you can buy this. But sorry.
All Jay does in this episode is be a little snippy at Angel, tell us exposition, and then say, hey, the head's here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a real bummer.
It's a real bummer. And yeah, you get to see like it's instead kind of like what you don't get to know what Illyria, we don't get to explore Illyria's wants. We don't get to explore how the rejection feels for her. We don't get to explore what she felt playing Fred. Instead, we just see Amy Acker play Fred, which we know she can do because of all the years we've watched her do it.
I love
it was a bit touch and go.
Yeah, fair enough. It just feels like too thin a slice to me. Like, are her feelings Fred's? Are they her own? Like, say what you want about Stephenie Meyer, but this is what's so great about her book, The Host, which is like a metaphysical book about like inhabiting someone else's body. It's so good. I don't know why. It's insane. Experiencing their memories and then being like, do I love this person or did I just like sit in on their memories? Like, it's I think it's a very interesting thing about like fandom and shipping and stuff like that, and being like, can you be in love with a love story? Like, stuff like that. How does Illyria feel in this?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by all of that, and it's just such a bummer that I'm hanging out in like Italy and watching Angel and Spike not being able to get into clubs when I could be like digging into this. It just makes me sad. But then we're in the Wolfram and Hart lobby. Angel tells Gunn they lost the head. Gunn's like, head's in the office, dude, and now I'm going to lunch. And it is the head is there with a note from the immortal. Who helpfully procured it for them. The boys grouse about it some more. Spike is like, can't we just lock Buffy away in like a box? And I like all of Angel's responses to this, which is, I don't think she'd let us. She's pretty strong. And Spike's like, what about mind control? And he's like, she'd figure it out. She's pretty smart. So they say, we just gotta live with it. And Spike's like, no problem, it's fine. I'm gonna start living with it right now. We're both laughing, actually. We're both moving on.
They're not.
And then that's the end of our episode.
Narrator's voice. They did not.
Meanwhile, Angel has like 10 voicemails from Nina. Like, we were supposed to have dinner.
Yeah.
Did you turn into a puppet again? What's going on?
My blonde niece wants to meet you.
Amanda Ash.
Just like imagining Nina handing Angel like a crayon picture of him drawn by Amanda Ash. She loves you. Him being like, oh God.
My favorite wrestler, Amanda Ash.
I do love the alliteration. Like, go off, girl.
Amanda! Thousands cheering for Amanda Ash.
God.
It's true. Oh, so we've been to Italy and back. I wonder, is there any episode of the WB that might make this all go down a little smoother?
Angel is a vampire. Does he even like TV?
I think he'll like the WB.
They got that hot teen drama to ease the pain and trauma. And here's the episode that he needs to see.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So basically, just any previous Greenwalt directed episode, even she, because even she has dancing from Wesley and Angel.
Yeah.
And by
So, that's the selling point. That's not on the negative side. That's not part of the problem at all.
Your mileage may vary.
But yeah, put on some Dear Boy, you'll get some Darla. Put on some Plurt's Glurb, you'll get some Fred.
Plus,
Hell
you get to
yeah.
say Plurt's Glurb. Everyone's favorite.
Put on any of these episodes and you'll get Cordelia Chase.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
Hell yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
just
that's
remember how things were back in the day.
We used to be a proper country, etc. Hell yeah. Well, gang, do we have any additional thoughts on this? I think we did a pretty good job leaving no stone unturned.
I can't believe we talked so much about this episode, but actually I can because it's been boiling.
I have a question that is from me, but I feel like might also be in the minds of folks who are rewatching along with you. Like I haven't seen this series in a long time, so I know that there is frustration here about what has been done with this third to last episode. Knowing what's coming, or at least I know, Morgan, I don't know how familiar you are with the last two episodes, but LaToya, I know you are. Are we arcing like, okay, they're going to do the things we want them to do somewhat in the last two, or not so much?
They are, and then you're going to be like, this is really fast. Yeah. I wish we could have.
Okay.
If you'd be like, we're probably doing the things we said to do, but like you could have not rushed this.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you knew you knew you had to do them.
Yeah.
You knew you had to do the
cement
things.
Block is about to be dropped on the gas pedal.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. I just
remember
know what I'm in for.
Yeah, and it's just I think a lot of the like, why are we doing this right now that we've been having these last couple episodes is like, would have been nice to explore what we're going to explore in these last two over a slightly bigger piece of time, and also just like being with the characters.
It basically addresses, like, remember how this is like takes place in a bigger world that we've been saying, and everything's been so insular. It's like, if only you would just continue to have the big world, it would all make sense.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for these last two. I think they're going to fucking rip, and we're going to have a really fun time discussing them. So I do think this is kind of I like that we were able to have Kristin here this week. It's kind of a goodbye to a lot of the stuff we've been talking about that's been frustrating, and hopefully these next two episodes we can kind of just be high-fiving a million angels the whole time.
Great. Oh, a million angels. Great.
Yeah. Well, that's the dream, isn't it?
High five and a million spikes.
I would too.
Just spikes falling from the sky. Oh no.
I feel like I'm dodging, like I'm in a video game. Guys, as someone who's recently watched, I've been watching The Matrix while I work out, so that I work out.
Morgan's been watching The Matrix?
You wouldn't believe.
Unheard of.
And I just feel closer to Spike than ever. So many long coats are flowing in that fucking movie. I'm just like, God, he loves this shit.
When his jacket, we did not say this, but when his jacket gets like caught on the top of Angel's face in that moment in the fight, I am happy. I am happy to see the jacket used in such a way.
Good jacket comedy this week. Well, You can follow us on at Angel on Top Cast on both Twitter and Instagram if you're interested in doing so. We are, you can go to our Patreon at angelontop.com. You can get access to ad-free episodes, bonus content, Cole Turner cast, all sorts of fun stuff. The lyrics to many jingles, which is something that people ask about. People are constantly in our Instagram comments like, what are the words to these songs? The words are here, and there are MP3 files for, your listening pleasure. Okay. If you just, need to be able to hear Bye for Boreanis wherever you are, in which case I can relate. The song absolutely fucking slaps. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so at Lorgan Lutich on whatever platforms still exist at the time of this airing. Mm-hmm. Good gravy. The internet is bad these days.
It really is.
LaToya, where can the people find you, and should they?
If you don't know by now, figure it out. I'm on Blueski too now, so.
Oh, go to Blueski. Someone give me a Blueski code.
Oh,
I want to see if it's better over there.
I have 3. I can give you one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, soon to be on Blueski at Lorgan Lutich. If someone hasn't taken it.
Yeah, I'm at LaFerguson Blueski. Like that. What's the one? Is it Threads where I had to be attached to the Instagram so I couldn't be LaFergs because I have to.
Yeah.
God, boo-hiss.
We have to fight whoever has LaFergs on Instagram. We gotta get him out. I think it's a white person. We gotta get him out
of there.
Yeah, this is a Jilbo Baggins situation. We gotta get this person fought. Kristen, what about you? Anything to plug?
Well, you can listen to me talk about aliens and the government being a piece of shit, covering the X-Files, produced by LaToya Ferguson as well. So you get two of us from In This Pod and Jenny Owen Youngs. We're doing the EX Files right now. And you can follow me again where I don't know where, but Kristin Noeline, which is KRISTINNOELINE. I found it very generationally interesting that you still called it Twitter, Morgan, because Jenny has been calling it X. And
don't give in to that, Jenny.
Listen, I was like, oh, are we? Because I'm not using it really at all. Like occasionally I'll throw something up for buffering if like I just want to make sure people see it, but I'm not using it. And and so I didn't know. I was like, is that just what's happening? People are just calling it X, but you didn't. So I just don't know what's happening. It's a very confusing time.
That's fair.
People
I have
are
been calling it X, ironically, to piss off Michael Chase.
I have seen people call it X Twitter, which I like that if you're going to acknowledge X at all, but otherwise, no.
Yeah. So I'm
I'll
on
catch
Instagram.
Myself and correct myself.
I'm on Threads as well because it's like easy enough. It's right there. I'm on Blueski, but I don't really use it because I'm confused about the whole situation. And also,
Morgan, I just emailed you the code, by the way.
Thank you.
This episode will be going up pretty soon, so if you live in Boston or New York, Jenny and I will be doing a 30th anniversary celebration of the X-Files on September 9th and 10th in those cities. So you can look that all up on bufferingcast.com. And
hell yes. Go Sox, Yankees suck.
And I know people have been asking, sorry, I will not be there. So do not get your hopes up for me, but don't like cancel the plans to go just because I'm not going to be there. You should probably still go.
Just because you're not going to be there like physically doesn't mean that you might not be there virtually in some manner. You know what I mean? Like
me talking about if I ever see Chris Carter, it's on site.
Yeah, it's just like every time we're live, it's like you on video being like, fuck Andrew. And now it's like, fuck Chris Carter.
Yeah, sorry. LaToya will not be there because she's in the parking lot of the shows ready to fight Chris Carter. That's where you can find her.
He's trying to show up to this live X-Files taping. Not on my watch.
Thank you for having me in your pod and getting to talk about the girl in question.
Yes, thank you for being here as the girl in question.
Anytime.
This has been so fun. I love you guys so much. And thanks for everyone for listening to our nonsense. And you are now leaving Wolfram and Hart. And sorry, we do not validate. But Italian.
Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Nowadays, trends and news cycles change faster than we can blink. But there are some things that withstand the test of time. And if you're looking for a connection to something timeless, and maybe also a glimpse of life at a slower pace, I believe everyone can relate to the very human experiences explored in Jane Austen's novels. And that's where I come in. My name is Alison Larkin. I'm a writer, comedian, and narrator and host of the Jane Austen podcast with Alison Larkin. I spent a lot of my childhood in the part of England where Jane Austen lived and wrote, and now that I live in the States, nothing gives me a sense of homecoming quite like narrating her books. On this show, you'll listen to award-winning narration. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. As well as conversations with actors, writers, and other fascinating people who all share a passionate love for Jane Austen. So please, join me as we embark on a wonderful journey through Jane Austen's work. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Jane Austen podcast with Alison Larkin, wherever you get your podcasts.